Since you can understand the concepts in the first lesson, we can now start to talk about acupoints. The first 3 lectures are on the 3 handing meridians, which will be explained together because each meridian shares some common properties. The same goes for the 3 hand-yang meridians, with this meridian at the very tip of your fingers. There is an acupoint called Jing, acupoint. Jing acupoints have some common properties, so we will talk about them together in a systematic way. The 3 hand-yang meridians are also explained together. The same with the 5 shu points on the 3 hand-yang meridians. All meridians are divided into Jing, Ing, spring, Shu, stream, Jing, river, and He, sea. The 12 meridians all reach our extremities. The tips are like the origins of a river. It's called the Jing acupoint. Every river has its source in the mountains, which starts to accumulate slowly before finally converging into the ocean. That's called the He acupoint. So there are still the Jing, Ing, and Shu. But there is one more acupoint on the Yang meridian called the Yuan source. The Yin meridian does not have this. Therefore, the Yang meridian consists of Jing, Ing, Shu, Yuan. Here comes the first problem. You must get this right. When we talk about Jing, Ing, Yu, the 5 elements are wood, He, fire, earth, but now it's different. Water. The Yang meridian is not the same. It makes sense because the meridians of Yin are the 5 meridians of Yang organs, are the 6 and Yin is a bit organs. More subtle. Yang is relatively extroverted, so some of their properties must be different. So the 5 elements of the Yang meridians are metal, water, wood, fire, and earth instead. The ancient books did not explain the properties of the Yuan source, but because with the Yin meridian, Yu and Yuan are the same acupoint, so we determined that. Basically, the Yuan acupoint of the Yang meridian shares the same properties. Because in the Yin meridians, it is tied together. It's the same one, so even though the Yang meridian is separated, it's a different acupoint, but we think its properties should be the same for the 5 elements. So you can label this as Yuan acupoint. This is also wood here. So if you remember why we talk about the 5 elements, when we talk about the 5 sometimes elements, it's like this. If it's deficient, overabundance, reinforce then its purge origin. Its derivative. It doesn't matter if you don't understand medicine now. Doctors need when we to talk about the 5 elements, we signs must include of deficiency this. Can be found 4 signs at the origin of overabundance. Look for the idea of reinforcing acupoint. And purging, but we don't really talk about these concepts for the As I just meridian. Said, we say the organ it mainly treats and the symptoms along the path of the meridians. So in fact, the 5 elements is simpler in application for the Y/Yang meridian. One thing you must remember is the wood acupoint of the Yang meridian. You can label it. The wood acupoints on the Yang meridian are all important points for pain relief. Wood acupoint. The wood acupoint on the Yang meridian. You can put these two, Shu and Yuan, in a circle. The wood acupoint are key points for pain relief. Why does the wood point relieve pain? We'll talk about this again when we have the chance. This is a little more in-depth. Just remember the results first. So, I also want to teach you a mnemonic. For the Yin meridians, we said there were 3 hand Yin meridians. Does anyone remember the business mnemonic? Opportunity, Shangji? Business opportunity, classmate X? Business opportunities are too tortuous. Then what about going there? You also need to find someone with the contacts. You want to rush to pay for him, right? That's Yin. Yin is when you have to do things secretly. Yang is different. Yang is righteous and bright. So Yang is also a story about making money. A story on making money. To invest in business. So what is light? It's like several businessmen. Feel that there is nothing to make money from in Taiwan anymore. I want to go to the USA to make a fortune. So businessmen, Shang 2, 3, 2 or 3 businessmen. Shang Air and San together, they go west. Join each other. To go to the west, to Europe and the USA to make money, correct? Because Taiwan's population is relatively small. Of course you will go where the market is bigger. So Shang 2 and 3 go west together. If we want to invest, do we need to collect money? Right. Collect the money. Collect and prepare. Prepare some money before investing together. So what do we need? Money selection. Take a little here and a little there. Money selectivity. Where are the top earning opportunities now? There's the technology industry. So where are we going? To Silicon Valley in the USA. There might be the most money. So I chose Silicon Valley to feed Shanghai. What's small ocean? We often talk about blue ocean policies. There is a blue ocean over there. So we are going to run our blue ocean over there. So, choose money to feed the small ocean in Silicon Valley. Let's start small first. Then we get bigger and bigger. What are we going to do about Taiwan's business when we move? I'll get my classmates to help me manage it. No. There's no one to help me. My classmate is busy too. Okay. Then I might as well pack this up first. Close the door. Close up shop. I was originally feeding my small ocean in Taiwan. What can I do now? Pack it up. Block it up. I will stop managing it. If you close the door and block the pool, go to that place where you can make a lot of money. It's like heaven to me. Understood? So practice once more. This is a story about making money in a righteous way. There are 2 or 3 businessmen go to the west to make money. Go to the USA, Europe, and the Western world. Then I will collect the money and see where I need it. Some of it I want to keep in Taiwan in case the investment fails one day. I always need money in Taiwan. Where do I take the money I've selected? Silicon Valley. Shanghai. Feed the small ocean. As they say, the strong dragon doesn't repress the local snake. We will start slowly. There are powerful people over there. And not make it too big at first. It's easy to squander away the money when business gets too big. Feed the small ocean. What should I do with my career in Taiwan? Shut it down first. Close the door and then what? Shut down my original small ocean too. Close the door and block the pond. Are you all ready? Let's go straight to heaven. Memorize it. What we are going to talk about today is Shang Air and San go to the west together. Good. So taking my class will help you memorize the acupuncture points. So let's try it. This 5-shoe point is very important. And San go west together. The first acupoint is called Shang. It's called Shangyang, L11. Air-san is easy. One is called Erjian, L12. One is called Sanjian, L13. Go west. It's very simple. Like I said, Hegu, join valley, point. Aren't we going to Silicon Valley? Hegu is very logical. What is west? The Yangshi acupoint. Go. It's Tsuchi acupoint, Li11. So today we will talk about these 6 acupuncture points. There are 7 acupuncture points along today's class, Li10. So after class today, in the next session, you will also work in pairs. Let me show you where those acupuncture points are first. Just take that pin. Help yourself or help your classmates. I hope you are helping your classmates. Because other than helping yourselves, you could also be helping family and friends. Go and find your classmates' acupoints. You can also find your own. Then I'll help you identify it. Only in this way will you all learn something more useful. Otherwise, I'm just talking. I'll perform acupuncture. You might think you don't know how. So I must let you look for it yourselves. Good. So let's get into the coursework. The first acupuncture point is called Shangyang. When you learn acupuncture points. Follow my methods, and you will feel that there are certain rules. When we are teaching the lung meridian, isn't there an acupuncture point called Shang? So, from the 3 meridians, Shang is relatively, right? Right? Doing something like we just said. Business opportunities are too tortuous. Then go find someone who knows the ropes and take him to dinner. So what is the name of this acupoint when we're talking about the name of the first jing? Well, acupoint. Business opportunities are too tortuous. Shaoshang acupoint. That's where it is. This is the edge of the nail, right? This acupoint on the large intestine meridian. You find it the same way with nails. Did you see that? You can see it just by looking at that picture. Draw tangent lines on the edges. This side. This is the Shangyang L11 point. Basically, Jing Well Acupoint. This is the same way you find other points. It's just that some people use their fingertips instead. For example, the pericardium meridian. You can also use your fingertips as another kind of zhongchong acupoint because it's easier to release blood from here. The so-called Shirshin bloodletting is done on the fingertips. Also, our 10 fingertips are linked to our hearts. Some people say that. But the correct acupoint should be like this. Just in case, one day, you or your friend or family has a stroke, you'll be panicking. Then you think, is Shangyang on the medial side or lateral side? You might be really confused. That's okay. Just use your fingertips. It's very easy, in case that really happens. But I still hope you will make the right judgment before you do it. Actually, even as Chinese medicine doctors, very nervous in that situation, especially if it's our family member. We may find our heart in a mess and not want to determine which side it is. You can use your fingertips. So see, you will understand many things with the right principles. This Shangyang L11, you know the location. Acupoint. On the index finger. The side of the index finger close to the thumb. A little further on the medial side. Leaning against the medial side. Index finger. The corner of the nail on the index finger near our thumb. On the medial side here. Close to our thumbs. Then, it is the large intestine meridian of Heng Wei Acupuncture. So now I'll ask, you've gradually understood some rules and principles. You are not just memorizing an acupuncture and not understand their relationship. What can I do with the Wei Acupoint? What can you do? Is there lack of sleep? What can I do with the Wei Acupoint? Oh, stimulate the brain. Everyone works hard. In my class in the morning, students are also very tired. I also get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Fortunately, I went to bed earlier yesterday. I was busy from morning to night yesterday too. Stimulate the brain. There is nothing wrong with saying that. But is there a more professional term? Can it release blood? Because it can improve awareness. Like stimulate the brain. Because there is a professional term that says, the well manages epigastric fullness. If the disease is in the internal organs, take it from the internal organs. Take it from the Wei organ. It has to do with our spirits, blood, and qi. And so the Wei Acupoint is often used to rejuvenate the mind, especially that kind of stroke, heat stroke. And when you release blood, it's like putting some heat, dissipating the heat. So it also has a heat clearing effect. Clear away heat. Clear away heat. Wake up the mind. The Wei Acupoint basically all have this effect, but the effect is better if it is combined with bloodletting. So what can this Shangyang, look at what I wrote, do? Purging fever. If you just learn purging fever, it's not professional enough. Since you've come to this class, and we're talking about purging fever. There are so many Wei Acupoints, and every one of them releases between them. The Wei Acupoints of the Yangming Meridian is most effective in relieving its own heat, relieving the heat of Yangming. What is the Yangming heat? This is called the large intestine meridian, so it can release the heat of the large intestine meridian. The heat on this path is related to the large intestine meridian. Its heat related to the Yangming large intestine meridian. So I will write purging heat first. Then what? Enlightenment. Clear the throat. Front side. Throat. The Hegu acupoint can treat coughs. Teacher, cough, help me release blood. The Shangyang acupoint. The one at the back. So clearing the throat, because this part is also related to the front side. And a lot of Yangming heat can cause throat problems. So like I just said, what symptoms does it treat? The Shangyang acupoint. Distal parts like this is usually very painful. It's extremely painful when pricked. It can also have a stronger analgesic effect. Toothache. And didn't I tell you this at the beginning? The Yangming Meridian travels along. Which side? The front. It's an hour. I keep drawing this. So if you are a person who often has pink cheeks, just now, that. Eating the buffet at the Okura
I went there to
Prestige
eat last
Hotel,
Sunday.
and I discovered a very strange phenomenon. There was a girl at the table next to mine whose whole face was red as guangong. Maybe she gets red easily with alcohol. I guess that's it. Very red. That type of face heat. Can I use this to treat it? Shangyang Acupoint. And she was not red when she first sat there. It turned red later. She must have eaten something to make her face that red. Isn't red cheeks from eating related to the digestive system? So what can we do? Shangyang Acupoint. Face heat. See? It works on red cheeks too. Sore throats and comas. And numbness in hands. This is unusual. What would some doctors do? If you find your hands and feet numb easily, it can also release qi and blood. So you can use the Jing Acupoint when you see patients with hand numbness. So the concept of Shangyang is very simple. You first identify it as a Jing, it can stimulate your brain. Acupoint. And you knew it is a Jing, bloodletting can clear away heat. So where is the heat you're clearing? Is it heat from Yangming? So it works for positive kinds of symptoms, like acne and herpes, etc. Heat from Yangming. Or maybe you got shingles today. Why does it happen to appear on our Yangming Meridian? Whether it is foot Yangming or hand Yangming, it appears there. Then this Jing Acupoint, Shangyang Acupoint, for everyone to use. Suitable. So if you have these symptoms, you can use the Shangyang Acupoint, or you can memorize it from the back. The Shangyang Acupoint can treat these diseases. If you want, there's a lot more to write. Do you know what other symptoms are considered? For example, Yangming heat? Nosebleeds is one. Shangyang can also treat nosebleeds. So there are many diseases. We can write, but you need to grasp the principle. If today I am a specialist who teaches only Shangyang Acupoints, I can write 100 kinds of problems. The entire Yangming Meridian. Maybe I'll just say, my stomach hurts. My skin itches. We can all write it down. But our focus is on remembering the principles. What diseases can it be used for? Bloodletting from the well acupoint can wake up the brain. And when we suffer from a heat stroke, we are very hot. How do I get rid of this heat? Bloodletting. If you are more professional, more stronger, the meridians of traditional Chinese medicine also less separate. Blood of a certain meridian, or more qi, more blood for another meridian. There is a difference. Some meridians have less qi and there more is blood. Also that type. Because the Yangming Meridian is mainly about digestion, large intestines, and you stomach. Eat something. I had a bowl of beef noodle soup for lunch, and then some fried rice. That's a lot of energy in that, right? Beef also replenishes blood. There are also many nutrients. So we think that the concept of traditional Chinese medicine is called more qi, more blood. There is a lot of qi in blood. So we are going to relieve heat. To detox, our first choice is to find the Yangming Meridian. Because it has the most troops, qi and blood, I adjust it for the best effect. So, during a heat stroke, we use the well especially the Yangming Meridian. This is one with also a good effect. In addition to the Shaoshang, Lu11, the idea of Shaoshang is that heat strokes are caused by external heat. So we use the exterior releasing method. But this summer means your body has a lot of heat, so we need to quickly for the strongest one. Go to the place with the most troops. The effect must be best. There is evidence and thermal proof, such as coma due to blockage patterns. For example, have you thought about others? Professional Chinese medicine is about whether you have heard of the kinds of situations or the acute situations you have encountered that leads to a coma, heat exhaustion. We just talked about it, but it's more a deficiency problem. Heat strokes and heat exhaustion is more an excess problem. What about a deficiency? So in addition to this, you also need to add it is a bodily fluid and might cause severe dehydration, mainly acute infections. For example, enterovirus-19. Those kinds of fever cause coma, heat strokes and strokes. Then, various infectious diseases. What I just said, enterovirus, meningitis, that kind of things count too. You can consider using this. We as Chinese medicine doctors use it. If this is your family or friend, you have to help him. He is your friend or family. All the Western medicines are used. That is also a method. If some are deficient syndromes, for deficiencies, you can use warm moxibustion. Then you will know what it is used for. So it is all kinds of heat syndromes, excess syndromes, caused blockage patterns. Of course, its feature is we need to perform bloodletting. It is also an important first aid acupoint for stroke. In comparison, the best thing to use is still the lung meridian at the thumb and pericardial meridian at the middle fingers. Follow the little finger along the heart meridian. The best emergency acupuncture point for stroke is still. If you ask, will the Shangyang acupoint It does also work, but not as effective as these three acupuncture
Not
points.
as good
as what I was just talking about. Shaosheng, Lu11, Zhongcheng, these three are still the most accurate. But you say, is Shangyang effective here? It still has an antipyretic effect. So this Shangyang
Do you have a question?
After you learn this, you will gradually understand that if someone is in a coma, and it was due to enterovirus in the digestive system, then Shangyang acupoint would have the best effect if they are unconscious because of a cold or flu, or like COVID-19, a problem with the lungs. To cause their coma, then the Shaosheng acupoint if you want to get into such fine details, you would do as a professional, including things like insomnia caused by gastrointestinal problems. Maybe just use the large intestine meridian acupoints. If often in the mornings, you wake up between 3 and 5 o'clock. It has something to do with the Assuming lungs. It is caused by lung heat, then you want Shaosheng. So if you know more accurately, say, which body system this person has a problem. Is it a problem with the 5? Then find the corresponding or the acupuncture. The effect would be better. Are there any questions with the Shangyang acupoint? No. Shang Air and San go west together. Where is the second room? When our index finger is extended. The index finger. Fingers. The palm. The fingers and palms. There is a joint in the middle called the metacarpophalangeal joint. Joining the palm and fingers is the joint called metacarpophalangeal joint. In this metacarpophalangeal the front lower part, you see, this is the metacarpophalangeal The depression at the front and lower part is called 2 rooms. Then let me tell you first. The back and lower parts are called Sanjian, 3 rooms. So the acupoints are very interesting. Many are inside a hole or depression. There seems to be a stone here. There is a small hole at the back. There is a depression in front of a joint. There is a depression at the back, where the acupuncture sometimes point just lies. Where 2 bones meet is where the acupuncture point is where 2 tendons cross. This is very interesting. This is how the acupoints at a special point. At a depression, at a dent, at the front or the downside. So you know that with this joint is Ergian at the front lower side and Sanjian at bottom of the back. The same goes for the little finger. The lower part of the front, the lower back is called the Hoshi acupoint. The ring finger here. The front lower part is called the Yemen. The lower part of the back is called Zhongzhu acupoint. There's a system. T3. This is how acupuncture points are formed. At every special point in your body. That's how it came about. This Ergian. It's called the large intestine meridian of Handyangming. It's called the Ying acupoint. Ying acupoint. When you see the Ying acupoint, you will have a feeling. Remember I said Ying manages body heat. So it can also be used to purge heat. It also clears the heat from our intestinal tract. It doesn't really affect the consciousness. It just cleanses the large intestines. The heat from the large intestine. Good. Its element is water. You have to remember that this one compared to the wood this is metal, water. So what kind of heat does it fire down? Earth to relieve large intestinal heat. After you finish writing, don't look at your handouts. Let's practice. You remember it. Oh, the teacher taught me this before. The Ergian Li2 is purges large intestinal heat. So I can speculate where it could be used. Which symptoms or diseases? Think about it. What situations may cause large intestinal heat that you might encounter? Or what problems might large intestinal heat cause? It depends on how you think about it. Intestinal heat causes diarrhea. Because according to Western medicine, fast motion might make the stools come out easier. Is bowel motion also a sign of heat? Heat makes things faster, cold makes things slow. So the large intestine has heat. You might indeed get diarrhea, especially when you combine dampness and heat. You'll have diarrhea. It's the kind of diarrhea that's more like gastroenteritis, not the kind in the morning. And the stools are not formed. The unformed stools in the morning. That regular kind of thing is not diarrhea. Instead, it's the acute kind that is more inclined to be heat. What do you think? What are the other symptoms of large intestinal heat? If there is heat in the large intestine, you'll be constipated. Ah, that's right. Why are
One
the
gives
two
the other way
diarrhea
around.
and the other constipation? The body might have two different mechanisms, so there is the possibility of constipation. Think about it. It's okay if you don't have the answer. What other symptoms do you think intestinal fever may cause? Stomach ache. Yes. Your intestines will hurt. Stomach ache. White and sticky. Okay, it doesn't matter. Well, look, let's see the answer. You just said it. What you just said. There's large intestinal colic. Agitated, right? Stirring. Do you see that? Colic. What is tenesmus? When you have a bad stomach. Oh, hurry up. Who is in the toilet? Hurry up. Because you are desperate, right? And you feel like your intestines are heavy. Like it's going to come out. That is called tenesmus. This is a traditional Chinese medicine. More professional traditional Chinese medicine term. Think about it. When you think you have diarrhea and the toilet is occupied, how do you feel? That's it. Hurry up. Tenesmus. You feel like you're about to poop. Tenesmus. This is what I said on diarrhea. You see, this is what someone just said. Then what? What they said is correct. I wrote it here. Constipation is also possible because its heat pattern is different. Sometimes heat can make the stools dry. Some people manifest it as constipation and what's said like nosebleeds. Sometimes also a sore throat and toothache that someone just said. Large intestinal fever might cause the teeth to be hot and inflammatory pain. So there are all these possibilities. So you come back, think about it. The Urgian Li2 treats these diseases. With large intestinal fever, you can associate diarrhea. If you have large intestine fever, you can use Urgian Li2. We're talking about the symptoms for the disease. It treats acute gastroenteritis, the kind that someone mentioned. There's also amoebic dysentery. We heard this term when we were kids. Amoebic dysentery can also be treated in the same way. So when I was working in the hospital, I was in the acupuncture department. Sometimes some stroke patients. Our hospital classified it like this at that time. Leave acupuncture to the acupuncture prescribing department. Chinese medicine, the traditional Chinese medicine. So I once met a kind of patient when I went to see them, a grandma. The carer said she'd been suffering from diarrhea for the past 2 days. Pooping 7 or 8 times a day. It's very troublesome for the caregiver. Diarrhea requires changing diapers. Diarrhea again, then diapers need to change again. It was killing the caregiver. Then the neighbor complains too. But I can only do acupuncture. If I could prescribe medicine, I would give her some diarrhea Chinese medicine. But I can only do acupuncture. So can you guess which acupoints I used? The key point is that we had students what kind of pulse do you think I found at her right guan? Have a guess. She has a heat pattern. Diarrhea mean heat. There is heat in the large intestine appearing at the right guan. I'll give you a few options to choose from. Weak pulse? Rapid pulses? Large pulses? She had rapid pulses. That's heat. Inflammation. Acute gastroenteritis. So what acupoints did I prick? Have a guess. The hint is so obvious. Of course, when talking about this acupuncture point, so I pricked Urgian. We must use the Urgian Li2. We visited her every 2 days. Has she gotten better over the 2 days? Yes. The diarrhea gradually went after acupuncture. So it is effective. Of course, when I say this, if you insist on checking what I said, there is a way to check. That is to say, the patient also happens to be taking Western medicine. Sometimes it is necessary to make a clear distinction, but it doesn't matter anyway. Anyway, the combination of Chinese and Western medicine is effective. You need to do experiments to eliminate some biases. Or you know it yourself, that she took Western medicine for several days, and it's gone once you prick it. Then you can better prove that it is effective. But some people who study science will still doubt you. Others still want to question you. Then you have to find a way to convince others. So Urgian purges large intestinal heat. Evidence from the large intestine, for example, is also if you have constipation, you can use it too. Okay, then this is Urgian, Li2. Next, Sanjian. What is the difference between Li2 and Li3? Li3 is one more than Li2. How many houses do you have? 2, Urgian, and I have 3. I have 3. Sanjian. I have one more than me. The Sanjian, Li3, is for the large intestine. Then it is the Jing. Well, the Jing and Ing acupoints now become the U acupoint. The professional term, U acupoint. See if you remember. I talked before about Daling acupoint, PC7. There is a professional Chinese medicine explanation for the U acupoint. What does the Nanjing Classics of Questioning say about what you manages heavy body? Chinese medicine doctors must remember this and note it down. You manages heavy body and joint pain. The body is the human body, as heavy as its weight. Reduce is the stuff we talked about in our previous class. Pain is pain. Weight gain joint pain. You will learn this at school. That's the program of your Chinese medicine. You can make it a little richer. Different teachers teach you different things. That way, you will become the expert at all methods. Why do I talk about weight gain joint pain? Because this acupoint can relieve pain. I just told you. The 5 elements of the Yang meridian are easier to use. More commonly used is what would acupoint can be used for. If you memorize it, pain relief. You want to know, I study Chinese medicine. I don't want to just memorize it. Can you tell me a little more about the meaning? What is the connotation? Because Chinese medicine says that. What happens to the qi to cause pain? Great. It hurts when your qi is blocked. Which of the 5 elements is it? That extends. It has a more reaching and arrived effect. Wood will grow and grow. It's reaching and arrived. Not only that, you can make it even better. According to traditional Chinese medicine, the liver governs musculature pain. It's not a particular organ that's hurting, right? The headache is not really a pain inside the head. If something grows inside your head, then it hurts like hell. It's actually muscles, ligaments, and nerves that are hurting. So if you look at this wood, we say if blocked it hurts. So I have to clear it, right? What is the nature of wood? It has the same nature as wood. It will stretch and unblock. It is able to flow, reach, and arrive. So the wood acupoints can unblock to cure this blockage, the pain caused by the blockage. Okay, so you see, what can I do with wood acupoints? I've put pain relief. So what does it do? That's what someone just said. Many of you said it too. I put it all here. If there is a blockage, it promotes qi and relieves pain. It has the effect of promoting qi and relieving pain. So it's like what someone just said. If there is heat in the large intestines, whenever you encounter pain from the large intestines, the most effective pain relief is the Sanjian, Li3. But if you say, Mister, this pain is from inflammation, then you still have to prick Urgian. You need to eliminate the inflammation. You know, so sometimes. You see, we are watching a basketball game. This guy is good at scoring. For example, Jeremy Lin is good at scoring. But if there is no one next to him in defense, he still can't score the points. Sometimes it takes teamwork. Or Stephen Curry. Warriors Curry is good at shooting 3-pointers. But if his teammates don't block the guys around him, didn't give him space, he can't shoot either. There is no way he can take a shot. So sometimes one problem requires 2 or 3 acupuncture points. So we know that. Sanjian, Li3, relieving pain from the large intestine because it is a wood acupuncture point. You manages weight gain joint Look pain. At the two ancient sayings of traditional Chinese medicine. They tell you straight up. You manages weight gain joint best. Pain. It meets both conditions. It's the king of pain relief. Its only disadvantage is that it is not easy to prick. Is easier to prick in comparison. That's the main difference. So you see it treats painful diarrhea. What is painful diarrhea? Many modern people are like this. After eating, there's pain. You're going to demonstrate it to us soon. After eating, right? Straight to the toilet. Similar to our Chinese modern medicine calls irritable bowel syndrome. The large intestine seems very sensitive. It hurts when I eat something, and I immediately have to go to the toilet. That is irritable bowel syndrome. Sometimes it's to do moods. It's related to liver qi stagnation. There is a blockage with the qi. Then I will use Sanjian, Li3, to clear this out. Diarrhea. In Chinese medicine, we have a prescription called formula for diarrhea. This. So you see, it treats painful diarrhea. Treats colic. For example, today Why isn't the toilet door open yet? Quickly press the acupoint You can still hold on for a while. Do you know? Sanjian, Li3, Li2, then pray that person will come out quickly. Maybe you can tolerate it for a bit longer. But don't think that. Pressing acupuncture points can prevent diarrhea. You feel. Is this necessary? Or is it possible? It might. Good. Let me first talk about a concept. It's effective in some cases, but sometimes diarrhea is your body trying to save itself. For example, I have a friend who came to Chinese medicine. If that is the case, or maybe you eat something dirty. This dirty thing. Why should I keep it in my body and continue to let it cause trouble? I want to find a way to get it out. So, there is a saying in traditional Chinese medicine. It just so happens that the cows couldn't hear it. There is a saying called Tanjian to say when you have diarrhea blockages with purgatives. I still want you to have further bouts to remove this thing. Only then will the disease evils be purged. It's a bit like in our morning. One of the students said, with our things causing blockage, we need to pass it out. The bad things need to be removed out. The human body has 3 methods to do this. Urination and defecation. In the morning class, I added another method, vomiting, diarrhea. We press these acupuncture points. It might give you temporary relief, but if you have gastroenteritis, sometimes you should still get the diarrhea out. Get rid of the dirty things. Only then will it get better. So sometimes some people gets acute gastroenteritis. We Chinese medicine practitioners prescribe medicine. It lets you remove a bit more rather than necessarily. You don't necessarily want to stop diarrhea all the time. We have a saying called Tanjiang. So treat diarrhea with purgative. You will remember Sanjian, Li3. It can relieve pain. So if you say, you want to give it an image, it's a pain relief acupuncture You can write pain relief here. Each of your acupuncture points. It's for. Like Urgian, Li2, is for clearing heat. Anti-inflammatory. Sanjian, Li3, is for pain relief. Then, our Shangyang stimulates the brain. So Sanjian. What else do you think it can treat? Pain on the Yangming Meridian. Yangming Meridian. A student said toothache. It can treat it too. Also crooked mouth and eyes. Facial nerve palsy problems. Since I said that it's at Sanjian, Li3, it can relieve pain. So the swelling and pain around here, all can be treated. Redness, swelling, and pain in fingers. It can even treat sciatica. This is more unusual. You can memorize it as well. If someone has sciatica, massage this acupoint. It will also help. So you see, his slide I have here. What is the most repeated word? Don't say it. Mister. It's squares. There are 6 squares. No, it's pain. When I see it, I think of pain. What diseases can it be used for? Irritable bowel syndrome, constipation, sequelae of stroke, trigeminal neuralgia. So Hegu and Sanjian. Didn't I say they were both with acupuncture So you can use either. Their feature is acupoint for pain relief. Relief what kind of pain? Relief pain in the large intestine and along the large intestine meridian. All pain along there. Good. Are there any questions with this? I've talked about Shang Ersan, Li1, Go west together, Li3. Now the acupuncture point we're going to talk about those who like Chinese medicine might have heard of this acupuncture point. Famous people on TV or a famous Chinese medicine practitioner, celebrity Chinese medicine doctors. They talk about this acupuncture point. I was in senior high school. I traveled overseas. It's like holidaying in Taiwan. There are always some aunties on the tour bus who especially like to lead the excitement so that we don't fall asleep. There was this aunt who said, I want to teach everyone this exercise for mornings. Knock, 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 Hegu, Li4. Knock Hegu like this. Stimulate the Hegu point, Li4. Hegu, Li4, is easy to find. It's very simple. And it works really well. So everyone particularly like to use it. People say, close this together. Press down on the highest point of the bulge. Hegu, Li4. That's a convenient way to find it. But we as professionals need more. We need to go deeper to look for it. It's not the two concave seams put together. Where Hegu, Li4, is. You know better. Join your thumb and index finger. Press down on the most convex part. This is one way to find it. But we have to learn now. Learn to be more professional. The grandpa is great. He knows. You guys take a look first. Here is one half drawn. This is the World Health Organization map. This painting method is the standard. The same goes for acupuncture points. They are often in the middle. Not at both endpoints. Right at the midpoint. Good. So we finally talked about the 12 meridians for beginners. In this acupuncture class, we are finally going to talk about an acupuncture point called source acupoint. But to say, didn't you talk about it before? Previously, we talked about the Yin meridians. There was no yuan, source acupoint. In the Yin meridian are only Jing, Ing, Shu, Jing. Only in the Yang meridians is there another independent acupuncture. What is this acupuncture point for? We're going to find the original book. How do we write? Our acupuncture book. There is a very important book called the Nanjing. This Nan, Classics of Questioning, has 81 chapters. It's called the 81 Nan. We don't really say. We don't say Nanjing, difficult scriptures. We pronounce the character Nan. With the fourth tone like rescue team. In Article 66 of the Nanjing, we call it 66th Nan. There is a passage in it that says, people with diseases of the internal organs. Take it from its yuan, source, which means, when there is disease in the internal organs, it can be treated at the yuan, source, acupoints. So some people like that. They all like to use the yuan, source, acupoint. You also know the yuan means that it can, source point, treat many diseases as a universal point. It does not have the 5 elements. It is not written in the ancient 5 books, elements, but I just told you. So you write it here as well. Wood acupoint. Wood is in wood from the trees. Wood. Wood. How does it work? First, it's a wood acupoint, therefore it has a reaching effect. Like I just asked you, it has an unblocking effect. So it can manage the bowels. Because the large intestine meridian can organize and regulate our intestines and stomach. It's mainly intestines. It can also soothe the liver. It's also about soothing and conditioning the liver. If you want to learn in more detail, let me briefly talk about it here first. Chinese medicine has 5 internal, the 5 organs, and the 6. The professional terms are a husband and wife external one on the exterior and like the other the interior. Dad goes out to make money, and mom stays at home to take care of the family. Mom makes money, and dad takes care of the family. This is the concept of the exterior-interior relationship. Do you think the father knows only knows one girl? Other than his wife, he must also know different girls. Maybe there is another girl in his company who works well with him. The 5 Let's talk about the acupoints of the large intestine meridian. How to memorize it. Shang Ersan, 2-3 businessmen. Hegu Chu, go west together. A few decent businessmen want to go to the west, America or Europe, so make 2 money. Or 3 of them joined up to make money. The first acupoint is called the Shangyang, Li1. On this nail, The point where the straight line intersects with the horizontal line. So it is here. This is called Shangyang, Li1. Remember, it's on the inside. That side is Shangyang. If you forget, you just Hegu, remember. Li4 is right here. There is no way that Shangyang, there's a line, Li1, but Hegu, is here. Li4 it crosses all the way over here. Try to pinpoint this later on. This can all be wiped off. I tried it yesterday, and it disappeared after a shower. Or you can wash it with alcohol or water later. This is Shangyang, Li1. Shang Air and San He Shi Chu. What can it do? 2 or 3 businessmen go west together. Because it is a Jing, well, so what if we let it bleed? It can improve awareness. So it's good for strokes, heat strokes, and comas. At least for disease. What kind of heat does it purge? It purges Yangming heat. Heat from Yangming. So it can be used for all these fevers on the face. Nosebleeds, bad breath. It can also treat bad breath. Sore throat. It works on all these. This is the Shangyang Acupoint. The effect of bloodletting is particularly good. Shang Air and San go west together. If I don't talk so much about the functions of the acupuncture go back and watch now the video I just talked about. Here I am mainly demonstrating. There's something called the metacarpophalangeal joint and see a protruding joint to the front lower side of this joint. The one at the front lower side is the ergian, and it's on the junction of red and white flesh. You will find some skin looks darker in color, and there's some hair on it. The white flesh has no hair, so right at that junction is where red and white flesh meet. You prick it like this. Just penetrate this gap right below the bone. Clinicians do this. This is the ergian, Li2. That's the lower back side of this joint. When you point at someone, the direction you point to is called the front. Turn it upside down, so this is called the front lower part. But the lower back side of this joint is right here. You touch it like this. There's a dent. So this is Sanjian, Li3. Shaner San, Sanjian. This is Sanjian, then Li3. I'm going to find for Hegu, Li4. We need to look for this metacarpal bone and thumb. Where they join. There happens to be a point of connection. This point here is Tung's acupuncture point. It's called Lingu acupoint. At these 2 points, like this, at the midpoint, this is the Hegu acupoint, and you have to go in this direction. Press toward the inside of the second metacarpal bone. It will be very sore. This also cures colds. This is the Hegu acupoint, so Shang 2 and 3 together. But where is the Yang? Where is Yangshi? Yangshi is on the wrist. The demonstration here is very nice. He raises his fingers like this. This is correct. Thumbs up. There is a tendon here, so the midpoint of these 2 tendons here. You can see it by pressing this. You try. For fingers spread out too. This should make it clearer. Yes, there is a dent produced. Then right here in this hollow, that is the Yangshi acupoint, Li5. What is it used to treat? Wrist pain. I forgot to mention, the Hegu, what I just talked about, is the point for all diseases, Li2. So it treats the one that what happens if you have intestinal heat, constipation, you said it before, amoebic diarrhea. The Sanjian acupoint, Li3, because it manages weight gain, so relieves pain. This is for pain relief. Correction. This is pain. This is heat. This is Hegu, Li4, is the point for all diseases. Yangshi is for wrist pain. How do we find Tsuchi, Li11? The simplest way. Generally, traditional Chinese just try to bend your hand like this. Only need this. Is there a line here? It's gone when it gets here. Bend your elbow. This will make it clearer. Is there a line? The end of this line is right here. This is the Tsuchi acupoint. This is a simple way to find Tsuchi acupoint. What can you do with the Tsuchi? Because it goes deep into the viscera. It is also called the ghost leg, so it can improve consciousness issues. We generally use it for constipation and diarrhea. Also, it specializes in skin diseases. Almost all skin problems in traditional Chinese medicine will take it into consideration. Then I will combine Yangshi when connected. It is 12 inches. The line connecting them is 12 inches long. Li2 2 inches above Tsuchi Li 11. So of course, to find it, we first find this 12 inch. Half it. That's 6 inches there. You all know math. How do you find 2 inches? Just divide it into 3. So look at thirds like this. The line connecting them is right here. How about Shisanli? It is more inconvenient if it's a boy, to demonstrate on a girl. Press it. You see his expression is different now. This is the acupoint commonly used by grapplers. Look at the expression. This is an acupuncture point for replenishing, it can be replenished and strengthened. Because it is related to Shisanli. In addition, it is also a key acupoint for supplements the center, treats and adds to qi. It can also treat some skin diseases, boils, those kinds of things. Are there any questions with these acupuncture points? No. Ask when you have a question. That's no problem. The hand must bend like this. Prick like this from here. What do you think? It doesn't matter. Let's finish this question. If you prick it like this, you need to prick again. What should I do with this acupuncture point? So this is a way to help you find acupuncture points. We Chinese medicine practitioners don't bend it like this to find it. I just need to put this plane. Raise the plane of the lung meridian. Like acrylic panels like we have for COVID. Different organizers will have different acrylic boards. We had them installed for work. I just pull this plane out. The plane is pulled out at the midline of the 2 planes. Put another acrylic board down. This place is the Tsuchi acupoint. Books sometimes tell you it's Chai's, Lu5, and half of the line connecting the olecranon process. But you have to find Chai's, Lu5, first. Correction. So you have to find this first, and then find half of this. This is okay too. This is more professional. It's just that for you. The simple way to prick is to find the horizontal mark. Just let it go. Do you understand? Press it, his expression has changed. Acupoint, Li 11. If you want to be more precise. So what I just said. You think there is a plane on top. There is also a plane in here. Or should we say this is a road? This is the opposite side. There is a safety island right in the middle. So I don't have to bend, but you can try this first. If there is no problem, let's all go practice. Take your pen and help your classmates. Once you've marked this, you can raise your hand. We will record until Thank you all.